Hello, and welcome to Conquering Finale. My name is Jason Lafredo, and today we are once again getting the hang of HyperScribe. Now, this is a special video. I'm going to show you how you can actually record audio in Finale. But before you get too excited, just realize that Finale is a notation program. It is not an audio recording program. The fact that this feature exists is very much a bonus, but don't expect too much out of it because honestly, there's not a whole lot you can do, and you'll see what I mean as we get going. Now, what I've done here is I've just arranged the first 8 bars of the Christmas song, which I thought was appropriate for the season, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. And I've got a vocal line in here, so you just kind of see what this sounds like. Let the sounds load up. All right, etc. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to record a live version of the vocals over top of this string quartet and piano arrangement. Now, in order to record audio in Finale, the only way we can do that is in Studio View. And to get there, we go to View and Studio View. And when you do that, you'll see that on the very top, you'll have an audio track. Now, in case you don't have that audio track, it might be missing for whatever reason. In the MIDI audio, there's a section here called audio track, and where it says delete audio track, if there was no audio track there, this option would say add audio track. So actually, let me just show you. I'll delete it. So it goes away, and then audio track, add audio track, and there it is. All right, so that's just in case for whatever reason that audio track was missing. And so to record an audio track, it's fairly simple. In the left-hand side here where it says audio track, all we have to do is just press the record button to record enable it. Now I'm also going to mute the voice channel here just so you don't hear that extra melody doubling. The one thing I will tell you, let me just show you something real quick. In device setup, in your audio setup, what you're going to hear right now, unfortunately, because I have the mic source and the output source in the same device, the A28ES, unfortunately, you're going to hear the instrument tracks themselves go into the audio track. Now, this is only happening right now because I have to have this set up this way for my screen capture recording. If I were doing this offline from this tutorial right now, I could set these to different sources for the output and the mic, and I would get a clean audio track. But what you're going to hear right now is a vocal track mixed with the instruments right now when I record this audio. But anyway, if you set it up correctly, this won't happen. Anyway, so where was I? So I muted the voice, I record enabled the audio track, and now it's just a matter of hitting record in the playback controls. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. And that's all there is to it. And you'll see once you record, you get a little waveform there in your audio track, and you're good to go. Now let me just solo this audio track so you can kind of hear what happened. And again, you'll notice chestnuts roasting, the instruments in the background, unfortunately. And the click as well, which is kind of a bummer. All right. Stop, please. Now, I did mention that the audio functions are very limited. In fact, I'm going to show you exactly everything you can do very quickly. In the MIDI audio, the audio track, this is where we're going to get to everything, which is not much that we can do with the audio clip. We can go to the audio clip attributes, and this is all that we get. It's just telling you where the file is. In fact, when you record, I should have mentioned, when you record something, it will create an AIF file, which I'm dragging over here right now. And it puts it in the same location as the Finale file. So in this case, I had the Finale file on my desktop, so I'm just dragging this over from my other desktop. And it tells you the file length, the format, etc., and a starting position. So you could actually change this. If we change this to measure 2, you'll see the whole waveform go over, and then it would sound really weird. So I've got it. Oh, I've got it. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. If I unsolo it. then it's just off a measure, right? Which is not what we want to do. The other options, the other thing in the audio clip attributes is start in clip. Now, if I change this to let's say 3 seconds, what that's going to do is going to cut off the first 3 seconds of that audio clip and start it 3 seconds later. This could be handy if for some reason there's a delay or something, and you want to start it like a couple fractions of a second later to get the delay in line with the playback. You could do that, but if I set it to 3 seconds, then you'll really hear how far off it is. An open fire. Yeah. Jack Frost nippy. Yeah, enough of that. All kinds of off. And then finally the same thing. Actually, I set that back to 0. And the same thing with the end in clip. This is actually telling us the length of the clip, but if we change this to 22 seconds, you'll see that the end of the clip gets cut off, so it's not actually making it to the next bar. All right. And go back there. Just hit set to end, and it will set that to the end of the full audio clip. All right. Now, what's silly about audio in Finale is that literally you can only have one audio clip in a file, and unfortunately that means that we can't even like patch a measure here and there. So if I were to, let's set this up again. So we're record enabling the audio track. If I were to, go to measure 3 to try and re-record these two measures, what's going to happen when I press record is going to get a dialog box that says the audio track can only contain one audio clip. If you continue, the existing clip will be deleted. Would you like to continue? If you click OK, that entire clip will get deleted. You'll start recording in bar 3, and then you'll end up with just a recording of bar 3 and 4 if that's what you did. All right. Again, it's extremely limiting, but it is what it is. There is one more option in that audio track menu. You may have noticed load audio, and what this allows you to do, if you're somewhat clever, as I mentioned, when you do a recording like this, you'll get an AIF file that gets placed on your desktop. Well, you can take that AIF file and import it into a DAW, like for example, Logic or something, and do all kinds of stuff to that file. So if you want to add some reverb or add some extra harmonies or other instruments, etc., and then essentially you can bounce that to a single audio clip, and then what we can do is import that single audio clip back into the audio track in Finale. And in fact, I've done that. So let me just what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select the audio track and just hit delete. That will get rid of it. And I've already done this offline in a way so that the vocal line is separated from the instruments. And what I'm going to do is go to MIDI audio, audio track, load audio, and I'm going to find the file that I created earlier called Chestnuts Vocals, open, and you're going to see that it imports it into my file, and it will give you options about where to start in the score. It'll pull up that audio clip attributes menu or dialog box again, so you can adjust these if you need to. All right. And what you'll see, actually, let me just solo this so you see what it sounds like. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. So no click, no instruments, Jack Frost and a lot of reverb. At your nose. All right, let's unsolo that. Yuletide carol. I also did some pitch correction too. Dressed up like Eskimos. Some very subtle pitch correction for this very amateur baritone. All right, so that's one thing that you can do with that option of loading audio. You can manipulate it in a DAW, for example, and do it that way. Of course, philosophically, if you're getting to that point and you're exporting the audio track and then futzing it with it in a digital audio workstation, and then manipulating it and doing all this stuff, and then bringing it back into Finale, I feel like if you're already in Logic, just keep working in Logic, because it's much more flexible and you'll get a better recording. But where I can see this could be useful is, if you're doing a really down and dirty kind of demo recording and you don't want to have to deal with, exporting all the MIDI data from Finale into Logic and then recording the vocals. This is just a simple way. Just do a one-pass vocal track, so you can have something, a dirty demo for people to listen to kind of get the idea, without having to go to an outside program. That's one application for it. Another one is actually, I kind of discovered this by accident doing what I've been doing with the screen capture, getting and the way I have it set up, in other words, the audio track recording the instruments and everything, is that, the other thing that you can do is mute all of the other instruments and have the audio device setup, the audio setup and the device setup set in a situation that I have it here where they're all the same. What you'll get is the click track looping back into the audio track. Now this could be handy if you want to then use that click track in Logic or something, and then you could actually use that click track to create a whole bunch of different, vocal tracks or other instrument tracks or other audio things, for example. Actually, let's say you want to create a whole bunch of different vocal tracks, and you record it in Logic, and then import the audio of those vocal tracks into Finale, into this one audio track, and then from there you can actually orchestrate in Finale. So if you're somebody that likes to orchestrate right within the program, that would be a pretty interesting way to do that, is create the click track from your tempo map, export it, record the vocals, bring the vocals back into Finale, and then start orchestrating. That would be an interesting application for that as well. And what else did I want to say? Oh, the only thing I wanted to mention about loading the audio track, by the way, you do have to make sure that the sample and bit rate are exactly the same as what Finale can handle. And I think in my setup, and I think in general, it's 44.1. I think you can change it though. But a 16-bit, it has to be 16-bit audio. If you try and load something that doesn't match the current audio setup in Finale, it won't let you load it. All right. So in my case, it was 44.1 and 16-bit. So like I said, there's not a whole lot to recording audio in HyperScribe. In fact, that's all there is. So hopefully this has helped. Maybe I've given you a couple of tips on some handy ways to use it, and there you go. So thanks for watching, and we'll come back and do a couple more videos on HyperScribe, and I will see you then. Thanks.